Hi there, this is Pandit Fakir Yogi Brenda Yogi, and as you can learn from my name, Pandit means who has tremendous love, affection, compassion for the entire world, birds with animal, plants, and humans. Because Pandit means yogi. So, full name Pandit Fakir means wisdom of enlightened Buddha, Yogi Brenda Yogi, Bond James Bond. That is my attitude, that is my thought, which has built up in my mind and which has really emerged as my being. Beloved friends, I have been an athlete right from the childhood. I used to jog, I used to run, I used to jump, I used to climb trees, mountains, hills, everything. But I had a special craze for automotive world. And when I reached IIT Kharagpur to have some kind of study in physics and meteorology, I picked up tennis, and there also I became so crazy that I bought a couple of bikes, scooters, and I first bike which I bought was Royal Enfield 350cc Deluxe. It was red color. I drove that bike for years together. I used to drive 300, 400 kilometers on the state road, but I never did adventure riding. That I have no idea that there is one word called adventure. So I never had any kind of fatal injury or any kind of accidents because I was just driving like a street rider. Beloved friends, then I get into some job. The first job was in Cosmoferrites, Shimla. There also I drove my Royal Enfield Bullet 350 for years, 3 years, going to Shimla from Javli, all twisty roads, very difficult and very dangerous. Still I was very safe, hale and healthy, never made any accidents. Then I switched over to Hyderabad, NMDC. I joined there as a manager and worked near about 30 years. Dear friends, there I changed my desire. I entered into four-wheelers. I started with all varieties of four-wheelers, from Tatas, from Marutis and from Mahindras. And dear friends, when I joined Emergency Management and Research Institute, Green Services, EMRI Green Services, one of the reputed organizations which is philanthropic, sponsored by my Gurudev and guide, Honorable Manarotna Dr. J.V. Krishna Reddy. Here I got some tests for, again, the two-wheelers. I become adventure rider, very dangerous rider. Then I started learning how to be adventurous rider, dear friends. I learned everything. There are few terms which are very important if you really want to learn how to drive your two-wheelers in difficult terrains, different terrains. These bikes are not only street bikes. These bikes can go to, these gravels, sands, muds, waters, all difficult terrains in the jungles, in the forest where there is all unpaved path. There is nothing like traditional roads. And there is a risk of falling, stalling, dripping, deeping your bike several times. I did all these. I dislocated my disc shoulder. Another time when I was learning trail braking, when we are cornering, we have to really apply our brake and slowly release it so that all the momentum pass over to the front wheel so that there will be tremendous grip, and even at high speed we cannot stall or we cannot tip over, dear friends. So many injuries came. All these came when I was learning on the ordinary bike. These bikes were not adventure bikes. The tires were very narrow, grip was very less. So that was the reason. Then I learned also how to ride on different surfaces, because the friction, which is really called the traction, varies from surface to surface. If it is slippery like Wiley or sandy or gravels, it cannot be really doing that good job. So it will be really very, very slippery. So I learned how to, at what speed we should move there, at how to control it, and all these I learned different surfaces. The higher the weight, because the frictional force depends on the weight. So these all things I learned, and there are some few terms that are very, very important. If you want to be a rider, you must know what is friction zone. Friction zone is that beautiful skill if you develop that. The throttle control and the clutch. If you are having mastery of a friction zone technique, you can be the master of your bike. This is very, very important, because bike is just a bag of steels or some kind of plastics. It doesn't have its own power. So the real power comes by throttle through which we inject fuel in the engine, and then the power which is generated in the engine we are supplying to the rear wheel through the chain, so that power, when rear wheel is rotating, it really gives power to the bike. So the power, I learned that the bike must be very, very powerful. Friction job, very powerful. You know, the bigger bikes which I got later on, V-Strom series, V-Strom 250 SX, V-Strom 650, V-Strom 800D, V-Strom 1000 EX, and all these are sponsored by my Gurudev Dr. G.V. Krishna Reddy. I really changed over my idea to KTM 390 Adventure, KTM 890 Adventure. I can tell you today, after losing a lot of my limbs and a lot of my muscles, you know, I have learned exactly how to ride bikes. There is still more to learn. The more we learn, the more we feel we know nothing. So I was talking about friction zone is very, very important. And when you are really driving at a very low speed, then also you have to learn so many important points: the rear braking, the friction zone technique, and when you are mastering cornering, it is very, very important. When you are crossing intersection, it is also very important. Everywhere, patience, what I learned from Ralph Waldo Emerson. You must learn the secret from nature. You must learn the wisdom from the nature. Its secret is patience. So once we are riding, we should be patient. We should be persistent. We should be persevering. And I am the guy who believes in being the best. Being the best. I may not become Roshi because I picked up at very advanced age of my life, but I never want to be second in life, because I also have the power of brain, what anybody is blessed with. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe the mind can achieve, but I believe I can do it, so I do it. And I do it with full measure of devotion and passion. And as I told you on my previous video, one of the greatest coach on the planet Earth is from Moscow. He is such a brilliant engineer and such a great rider. He is Andrei Bodrov, Moto Control. You can check up those channels where he is excellent. He talks beautiful English with perfect depiction of the scene and the ideas he is sharing. And he teaches you everything, what I have talked about. How to corner very fast, how to do all the maneuvering of your bikes. So that is my experience. There is a lot more to say. Only I regret age. Guys, boys or girls, young men, all you become old one day. But your spirit should never become old. Your passion, your energy, enthusiasm should never deplete with age. This is a natural process. As long as you are alive, be very strong, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. Be very pure and pious. You become only what you think about. Thought is everything, and I always think I am the bravest. I tell you a very small story today. When I was coming on the Warangal highway, one car fellow, he honked. It was not necessary because I was going a fast track at 100 and the car wanted to defeat me. Other side of the road was going JCB, very heavy machine. It was very difficult for me to give him side. Somehow I could manage and give him side. Then I honked him. And I was driving my KTM 390, beloved friends. I challenged this fool, idiot. He could not touch me. I drove it up to the full speed, 157, 160, the limit of KTM 390. That is my spirit. I always compete with myself. Nobody can even be visible when I look back. Every walk of my life. Dear friends, that's me, and you are better than me. That is my inspiration to you. Believe in yourself. Whatever is your passion, so says Ratan Tata. Product can be many things. But your passion is very important. In any callings, in any areas, if you are really passionate, your life will be really interesting and enjoyable. Don't worry for too much of money. Be contented. Be pure, be pious, be pandit. Love all, respect all, care for all. Thank you and namaste. Om means the universal force which gives ultimate peace to everyone.